own color could be so different, it put you on a wonder. It was like seeing your sister turn into a gator, a familiar strangeness. You kept seeing your sister in the gator, and the gator in your sister, and you'd rather not. There was no doubt that the town respected him and even admired him in a way. But any man who walks in the way of power and property is bound to meet hate. So when Speaker stood up when the occasion demanded and said, "Our beloved mayor," it was one of those statements that everybody says, but nobody actually believes, like God is everywhere. It was just a handle to wind up the tongue with. As time went on, and the benefits he had conferred upon the town receded in time, they sat on his store porch while he was busy inside and discussed him. Like one day after he caught Henry Pitts with a wagon load of his ribbon cane and took the cane away from Pitts and made him leave town. Some of them thought Starks ought not to have done that. He had so much cane and everything else. But they didn't say that while Joe Starks was on the porch. When the mail came from Maitland and he went inside to sort it out, everybody had their say. Sim Jones started off as soon as he was sure that Starks couldn't hear him. It's a sin and a shame running that poor man away from here like that. Colored folks oughtn't to be so hard on one another. I don't see it that way at all, Sam Watson said shortly. Let colored folks learn to work for what they get like everybody else. Nobody ain't stopped Pitts from planting the cane he wanted to. Starks give him a job. What more do he want? I know that too, Jones said. But Sam, Joe Starks is too exact with folks. All he got, he done made it off of the rest of us. He didn't have all that when he come here. Yeah, but none of all this you see and you setting on wasn't here neither when he come. Give the devil his due. But now, Sam, you know that all he do is big belly around and tell other folks what to do. He loves obedience out of everybody under the sound of his voice. You can feel a switch in his hand when he's talking to you, Oscar Scott complained. That chastising feeling he totes sort of gives you the prolapsus of the culinary lining. He's a whirlwind among breezes, Jeff Bruce threw in. Speaking of winds, he's the wind and we's the grass. We bend whichever way he blows, Sam Watson agreed. But at that, us needs it. The town wouldn't be nothing if it wasn't for him. He can't help being sort of bossy. Some folks needs thrones and ruling chairs and crowns to make their influence felt. He don't. He got a throne in the seat of his pants. What I don't like about the man is he talks to unlettered folks with books in his jaws, Hicks complained, showing off his learning. To look at me, you wouldn't think it, but I got a brother passing up Brown Collar that got good learning. If he was here, Joe Starks wouldn't make no fool out of him like he do the rest of y'all. I often wonder how that little wife of his makes out with him, 'cause he's a man that changes everything, but nothing don't change him. You know, many's the time I done thought about that myself. He gets on her every now and then when she make little mistakes around the stove. What makes her keep her head tied up like some old woman around the stove? Nobody couldn't get me to tie no rag on my head if I had hair like that. Maybe he make her do it. Maybe he scared some of the rest of us men might touch it round that stove. He sure is a hidden mystery to me. She sure don't talk much. The way he rares and pitches in the stove sometimes when she make a mistake is sort of ungodly, but she don't seem to mind at all. Reckon they understand one another. The town had a basket full of feelings, good and bad, about Joe's positions and possessions, but none had the temerity to challenge him. They bowed down to him, rather, because he was all of these things. And then again, he was all of these things because the town